I don't know how many of you realize, but we're coming up on the second birthday of the Global Methodist Church. The GMC was born on May 1st, 2022. Now, most all of us came in later, somewhere along the way at different times. But this journey to start a new movement has been a very exciting one for the last 2 years. We've seen God do some incredible things as we've tried to coalesce the movement around this new mission statement that we're going to make disciples of Jesus Christ who worship passionately, love extravagantly, and witness boldly. Now, I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last 15 months or so while I've been in this position about that whole topic of making disciples. And here's what I realized in my own life. To make disciples, we have to be growing disciples. If we are stagnant or stuck in our walk with Jesus, we're not going to be reproducing. We're not going to be bringing other people into the kingdom. And so we have to first look in the mirror and ask, am I growing as a disciple so God can use me as a disciple maker? Now, $64,000 question. How do you know if you're growing? Well, again, I'm just going to draw on personal experience. One of the things I've seen in my own walk with Jesus, that if I am growing in Him, going deeper in my walk, things are changing. Parts of my life are different today than they were last year or 6 months ago or last week. Jesus is taking the old and asking me to die to some things so He can bring new things into my life. And the other thing I've discovered about myself, I don't die to anything until I figure out that it's wrong. I have to first own that something is not right before I'm willing for that part of my life to change. Now, let's all be honest. None of us are good at admitting we're wrong. We get defensive, we rationalize, we deny, we explain away. Matter of fact, I've been reading through the book of Exodus over the last, about 6 weeks. And I came up on chapter 32, and it's where Moses goes up on the mountain and God's giving him the 10 commandments, but he's up there a long time. And down below where all the people were with Aaron, they get a little impatient and they decide something must have happened to Moses. And here's what's crazy. They say to Aaron, hey, we don't know what happened to Moses, so why don't you make us some new gods to lead us in the way that we're going to go. And so Aaron asks for all their gold, melts it down, casts it into the golden calf, and it even says he used tools to shape it. So you can imagine when Moses comes down off the mountain soon after this and hears all this commotion in the camp, they've set up an altar in front of this new golden calf and are worshiping this thing. And Moses goes ballistic. He throws the tablets down, breaks them. And then here's what he says to Aaron. This is in Exodus 32, starting at verse 21. He said to Aaron, what did these people do to you that you led them into such great sin? Now watch what Aaron does. Do not be angry, my lord, Aaron answered. You know how prone these people are to evil. Now what do you do there? Shift blames, not him, it's them. But he keeps going. They said to me, make us gods who will go before us. As for this fellow Moses, who brought us up out of Egypt, we don't know what's happened to him. So I told them, whoever has any gold jewelry, take it off. They gave me the gold. Now watch how he finishes this. And I threw it into the fire, and out came this calf. What did Aaron just do? 1, he denied responsibility. 2, he shifted blame. And 3, he lied, because that was not how this all went down. But you see, we read that story and we think, oh, that's funny, that's sad. How could he do that? But I look in the mirror and realize, how many times have I done that when confronted with my own sin or my own brokenness that needed to change? And I start denying or shifting blame or even not dealing with the truth because I don't want to admit that part of my life is wrong. It's not right. So if we're going to be disciple makers, we've got to be people who can look in the mirror in our walk with Jesus, own our own stuff, let God deal with it so He can bring new life to us And when we are walking in a new life with Jesus, we're going to be contagious. Other people are going to see what we have and want it. And we also are in a position then to mentor others, to pour into those around us in the church and even the people outside the church to begin to share Jesus in new and powerful ways. So I want to challenge all of us around the conference to take a look at our own life and ask, am I growing? Are things changing? Is God bringing new stuff? And is God using me to make disciples for his kingdom? Now, as I finish up the video today, I want to reflect back on this past Sunday. I want to thank all of you who participated in the voting for General Conference delegates. We had some amazing people to choose from on both the lay and clergy side. We have an amazing delegation that got elected, but there were also some incredible people who didn't get elected. And that's the blessing of being in a conference like ours where there's so many quality, gifted people. And so I want to thank everyone who self-nominated and put yourself out there for the vote. That was a huge sacrifice on your part to do that, and I thank you. And I would ask you now to be praying for our delegation as they start meeting to plan for General Conference in September. We also now can shift our focus off of this online annual conference to the actual real annual conference in June, on June 14th and 15th, Friday and Saturday, where we will meet together again at Lake Ridge Methodist in Lubbock. And man, the first two times there, it's been incredible how God has shown up and what he has done. And I'm expecting him to do the same thing again. So start praying now for annual conference coming up in June, and I hope to see you there.